Hello, good morning. Last day of the week, playing Horizon the Forbidden West. I know I keep saying that. I probably needn't say that anymore at this point. Yeah, we're underwater with our cool new rebreather, and now we need to finish the quest from yesterday, which funnily includes turning off some or turning back on some equipment that will flush this place, and that in turn will mean that we will be able to run around here and fight something. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing today, I guess. Let me just, while Aloy is frantically tread water, plug this in. Okay, good. So that my computer doesn't turn off its display while I'm watching for chat. I love this rebreather, or whatever it's supposed to be. I love that the music has just this tiny element of the Jaws theme. Do 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 do. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm actually hidden, but this is supposed to be stealth kelp. Do 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 do. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Let's see what you are.
Fire could do a lot of damage.
Oh. What was that plunk that it just did? Did it scan for us? Hi, guy. Nothing to see here. Okay. I guess.
There's the access point. Should lead me to the pump node.
Oh my god, this is a narrow tunnel, apparently. And of course...
There must be a whole network of these tunnels down here. Water lines for an entire city.
And of course, this game engine has a bit of a problem with tight spaces like this. Okay, but I think down here we should be reasonably safe. I love these hologram thingies.
I can't reach the ledge from here. Maybe there's something I can climb to get out.
Okay. Yeah, that might be an issue. I don't see any climbable handholds for one. There's an exit over there. Maybe here.
I'll get my kit dry at least.
And now... Oh, there's actually a ladder here. Didn't even need to go up there. Okay. The Lumiere Grande incident.
The primer node shut down now. I think the last time I was down here was during the Lumiere Grande incident. A malfunction led to an overflow of detergent in the pipes. Suds rose from every fountain. As we frantically tried to fix it, I looked up and saw everyone in the lobby chasing bubbles the size of basketballs. Young and old alike. Another magical moment in the impossible city.
I like him. He's... You know, he's not someone you can emulate well. You know, because that was just dumb luck that he won that bet and actually got money out. Statistically, you know, it's bloody unlikely that if you make a bet in Vegas that you win anything. But, you know, he seems to have his heart in the right spot. He seems to be talking about, you know, like he sees stuff and sees the beauty in it. And, you know, he decided, like, oh, he had money and he could have gone the way of the Zeniths. And instead, he went and tried to save the planet. Although I'm trying to... let's try to remember his name. What does it say? Stanley Chen. Okay. Stanley Chen. I'm curious what he will be doing. Like if we heard his name somewhere else, or if he's just in this area. I mean, it might be an extra cruel twist of fate if we later meet him as one of the Zeniths, you know. I think it's not, you know, like, we have Elizabeth as a clone, and she is someone who would not have come along with the Zeniths. You know, that's... I don't think she thinks, or she thought at that point that preserving her would, you know, that she's important in any way, more important than anyone else, and so she wouldn't have tried to preserve herself. You see that from the fact that, you know, they didn't go with the clone idea. Alright. That's interesting. There is... Oh! The tip of the tower that we saw outside is the Las Vegas Eiffel Tower replica, apparently. Of course, that makes sense that that would be... That would be part of of the landmarks in the game. Oh, and this is where we are? I guess, the arrow. Okay, cool. That's a cool design. I especially like these little extra squares underneath. They give the picture, you know, like a special lightness. You know, otherwise it would just be like a line and that's it. But by having this, it first kind of indicates, oh, there's something supposed to be below, but also it's not like a solid block. It's just, yeah, you know, and, you know, it fades out towards the bottom. It's a nice little design trick. This is a really cool I don't know why, but this fascinates me, this hologram. Like, this is, I think he mentioned earlier, like, what the casino was that he bought. I guess we can look that up as well. Where it started. Is it that? Yeah. The temple. That, you know, like the tempo sounds truthy. I don't really know, like, I know, I'm not even sure if I know any names of actual Las Vegas casinos. I think most, you know, like, I've never been there, and so I think the names I remember most are the ones of fictional casinos from, like, TV series or something. And so it's really hard to tell them apart, because, like, the first names I think of don't actually exist. They're just a similar name and probably the picture of the outside of some famous casino. Okay, I guess we'll open the valve instead of standing around and staring at this.
There. One node down. Better swim back up and find the access point for the second node.
Okay. That's interesting that now this bridge is open and this one is closed. Huh. I'm a bit confused, like, that upstairs in the casino area you would have these holograms. Totally makes sense. Because, you know, there's probably the spheres lying around and, you know, telling people about stuff. But down here doesn't really make sense. Like, where would be the emitters down in the water and in the and in the sewage area or in the drainage area, whatever? You know, why would they have projectors there? Like, this one, we don't see where it is, but this still kind of makes sense. So it could just be like a, you know, it goes with this control thing. But even there, you know, we should see some sort of emitter. But, you know, this has a function in the world, so that is there kind of makes sense. But all the others shouldn't really be here.
Clear this up.
I hope that wasn't a load-bearing wall. accidentally picked up the berries. Well, okay. I should probably loot the others as well. I'm kind of thinking, what if I need them once it's dry? But then again, this looks like not the kind of area I will come back to. Okay. I'm still a bit scared of the water in this game, because you used to drown so easily. And now that I have my rebreather, I shouldn't really be scared. I have to say that really, like, it's good, you know, now it's okay, it's fine, it's all over. Uli doesn't have to have the swimming in Horizon trauma anymore. It's also reasonably...
According to the map, the second node should be on the other side of the dome. Good time to pull out shock ammo.
What was that ding thing again? I wonder if us using our focus gives away our location? If that's what this ding was? It looks like you're coming by now. Is it? No. Okay. But anyway, having diving sequences at the start, and especially here when we grab the compressed air capsule. Where is the other guy? It's as if my marker disappeared. Oh, no, there. Okay, you're turning around. Alright, come by. Okay, I think we can swim over there now. Oh. More machines. Those are swimming burrowers. What is that? Alright, I completely forgot what I was about to say, but I think, yeah, just in general, I find it kind of sad that they made the, you know, the water is the great new element in this game. And, well, it's kind of realistic, and it's kind of, you know, a progression in, oh, her powers increase. At least for me, having having the water be such a difficult thing to deal with at the beginning was where is the other one? Ah, there. Okay. Took away the fun. So I was actually dreading every time they gave me a mission where it was like, go into the water.
Access point. Should get me to the second node.
Yeah. If the burrower is not too close nearby. Again, where's the other guy? You wouldn't think a snap maw could just hide. Back here. Okay, so if there's no burrower in front of me. Oh. Fools to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with Aloy. Stuck in the middle with Aloy. You can't see me. I'm totally invisible. Okay. Let's try it, I guess. Risk it. Oops, wrong button. Yeah, these controls are still a little... This still feels like it's too tight for the engine because, the swimming behavior, she doesn't just swim straight down when you push that button. She kind of, takes curves, and while that might be realistic, in a computer game, it's kind of, you don't have your body feeling that you usually have. Okay. There's a ladder. Okay. Finally made it up.
Just shut down the secondary node. No more water for the fountains. No more shows. No one left to appreciate them anyway. I'll never forget the city's grand reopening. The fountains had been bone dry for years. No one believed they'd ever return. So, as the first plume arced up in the dome, the music swelling, my heart soared right along with it. The city gave me a second chance once. Now it had one, too.
The domes, the water. He was responsible for all of it.
Okay, am I just supposed to... Whoops. Of course that didn't work. And of course I can't get up there. Can I? Well, the problem is that there's a bump as well. Okay, that doesn't work. That doesn't work either. I don't think I'll be able to glide either, but because you drop a good bit at the start of a glide. Oh, that actually worked. Oh, okay. We first have to remove that, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I should have waited to hear what the game has to say.
Okay, let's see if that helped.
Alright, is there anything... Oh. I wanted to pick this other thing up and open the valve, but okay. We would have opened the valve next.
Okay, I've taken care of both nodes. Now I just need to activate the emergency purge at the maintenance station.
And then a thousands of years old drainage system will just work. That's always impressive about these games. That the old machines work. Still work. After centuries. Like even in those old Mayan temples. I guess they built them to last. Seriously? Hello, where is my funnel?
According to the map, the maintenance stations should be at the south end of the dome.
So, okay, there's the burrower again. There's another burrower. Let's hide a little bit. Okay. Didn't realize we actually had two burrowers. Where's the big guy? Hello? The advantage of holo kelp or holo coral or whatever that is actually that
Shock ammo won't do much.
okay. So I'm not sure if there's any kelp over there. I'm still worried about the what's it called? The big snap maw, I mean. Okay. Ah, there's a bit of kelp. That's good. There's the big guy. Come on. don't know if that's just supposed to be an ultrasound effect. That's a bit too strong. Uh-oh. There's the big guy. Where's the next hidey hole? Here. Okay. Okay, you're going around in circles. So if I had been a little faster... Actually, I can.
There's red light in that tower. Just like at the console I found earlier. That might be the maintenance station. But how to get in?
All right. I have no idea what she's talking about, sadly. Regarding that maintenance station. Is this supposed to be the red light? No, it's somewhere ahead of us, I think. Okay, maybe not going out of here.
It looks like part of this building collapsed. There might be a way in.
Okay, we got a mission objective now, I guess. That was just the line not being finished. Or something. Dum 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 dum. Alright. One aspect I like is having two ways to go through an area. Like going through it once, swimming, and then once the water is drained, going through it again. We got a little hint about that with the Ink City a while ago, where, you know, we took our time diving to scan objects that were a little bit under the water. Hi, just a big fan. How's it going? Yeah. I'm swimming around here. It's finally fun now that I have this rebreather apparatus. Okay. What's going on here? Oh, that looks good.
Let's see where this leads.
That looks promising, and that looks like an open door even. Nice. Ooh, water bubbles. Pretty. I don't think there's any interaction with the water bubbles, though. That would be kind of a... I don't know, maybe that's a PS5 feature. Sounds like the thing they might have left over CPU cycles on the PC.
Perfect. Keep this
On the
screenshot for
PS5
later.
Okay, let's open this door. Oh. And even though there's a lot of sand, it just slides open.
I think I'm in the maintenance station now. I just gotta find a console to activate the emergency purge.
Why do I suspect that it needs a code? Okay, it doesn't. We just brute force. Nobody heard anything. It's just the wood working, I think is the term. You know, expanding and contracting depending on temperature changes. Interesting that there's just a safe lying around here. Still containing something. I wonder if that's actually supposed to be a safe or if it's... Let's have a peek at it because we've interacted with a bunch of those and never really looked at them. No, it looks like a safe. Has some stuff in it and it has a proper safe door. Come on. Why did you just change the angle? Like here you see it has the turny thing and it has the lever. So it's definitely a safe, but like where did it come from? Where did it go? Where did it come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Okay, let's keep going and find a nice little console. That's just the controls. Oh, it's so nice to just be able to swim around in here. Beep.
This looks promising. There should be a console in here.
System shutdown's almost done. Only thing left is to power everything down at the control center. So, I guess this is it. One final walk down the strip, and then it's lights out forever. At least I won't be around to see it destroyed. The Odyssey will be well on its way to Sirius by the time the swarm gets here. Still, my last memory of this place will be empty. A city that's already dead.
Stanley Chen was one of them. The Zenith. But he did so much for this place. He doesn't sound like the others.
Yes. I really hope we get to meet him. And I really hope he didn't go, like mad or something and turn out one of the evil guys. Like, the way this game goes, you can kind of expect that, we find out that one of the Zeniths killed him or something. And of course there's always the chance, like they had a whole planet full of Zeniths. So, and from what we heard, I think they're not really, not all of them made it.
Time to dry this place out.
But, so it could be that he was left behind on the new Zenith homeworld before whatever cataclysm they had destroyed it. Which, my current theory is that they probably brought it upon themselves, that they basically did the same thing to it that happened to Earth. And this time Elizabeth and Stanley Chen and the few others who saved the world basically weren't there to fix things. That kind of makes a lot of sense. Or at least, not all of them were there, and maybe that's what made it impossible for them to fix it. And, I mean, they might have had the technology from them, and might have tried to use it, but, maybe even that doesn't last forever, So that's kind of what I'm thinking. But I would really love, like, he has... They picked a voice actor who has such a kind voice. And I really hope it's, some situation where, maybe him and a few others come to save the day or something. Okay. Come on, hotspot. And now Aloy gets sucked into the pump. Ooh. Okay, this water... I hope that's a lot more impressive on the PS5. That water looked a tiny bit disappointing. We've had that in one or two situations where...
That did it! Okay. Now I can deal with that machine guarding the door on the other end of the dome. And once I get past it, I can get to what's waiting on the other side of the door. Poseidon.
But, that's basically the hardest effect. Like, I recently actually watched a video on, like, what they do for water in games, and there's some pretty established tricks. So bad when you already know the end and aren't allowed to say anything. Yeah, it's, and enjoy me naively speculating. I think that's see it as part of the entertainment I provide, I hope. That, like when I think... hello? Yeah, okay. That, I provide my theories at this point. And part of the reason for that is...
I guess the purge didn't get rid of all of the water.
To then later...
Ugh. Water in my boots.
That line doesn't really work in this spot. We've been swimming for ages. At this point, if there's any place that doesn't have water, that's more interesting. So I take it you're already through the game completely, then. It's, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I mean, like, I've offered several theories, like whether Chen, he could already be dead, he could still be there, that would be kind of nice. If we met him and he was kind of a good guy, maybe Mom coming after the escaped unruly quote-unquote children that are causing us trouble, but of course he could be the guy behind everything as well. So yeah, but yeah, I think it's kind of interesting if you to just see like, okay, what hints does Uli see? What hints does Uli miss? And of course, it's always there might be later twists and turns that might make me go, oh no, I don't want what I asked for earlier. This story will be much better with what I know now. If that doesn't happen or something, there's storytelling is not not that easy. Okay. And I mean, in general, if you... I should actually go back. Like, remember, there were a bunch of people who they told, oh yeah, you have a place on the rocket. And then they left them behind. Or even, I think there even was talk where I thought, okay, they probably killed them. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Stanley Chen... Who was Evan Chen? I think might be a comic artist or something like that. Anyway, that name's kind of at the forefront of my head. But Stanley Chen, might be... Montgolfier flight. I guess that's an exhibit here. So, like, it totally makes sense that they might have just used him to get the water systems or whatever they needed for the flight and then left him behind, or that he sacrificed himself so the others could leave in the ship. There are so many things that could have happened. But just saying, like, hearing this voice actor nostalgically shutting down his casino, he kind of sounds so friendly and warm. They have chosen such a good voice actor that I kind of hope we get to meet the person I hear in that voice. Of course, that could just be, I don't know, something put on for the press or something. I don't know what these recordings were originally for. Whether they were private diaries or whether, he planned to have a, like whether he planned to write his biography and include those. Or, it could be that they had, like on Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that they have an A arc and a B arc. And the one that exploded was actually the B arc with Stanley Chen and a few other quote-unquote unwashed masses in it, and the ones that we know are the A arc who made it. That could also be that they just went, we have this thing that we kind of cheaply built that looks like the rocket, and we'll just put anyone we don't want in there, have it explode, and then people will say, oh, what a pity or something, while the actual people who we want to go to space are not in there. Something horrific like that totally fits the Zeniths. Even if he writes a biography, why should he have several cell phones and have them lying around. Well, I see like most of these data points that we find in the world that are this modern stuff, or this old ones. Technology, I guess, is what we need to call it now. Um, um, they look more like pads from Star Trek. We have a picture here on screen, actually, so that's convenient. But I see them as, not really as cell phones like we have them today, but more as sheets of paper. So you just had a whole bunch of these devices, and, maybe they were hooked up to your cloud storage or something, so if you left one somewhere, you didn't think about it too much. But of course, on the other hand, even that doesn't make sense. You wouldn't leave them lying around. It's the same as all the private notes that people leave lying around for you in BioShock. Like, why would someone leave their most personal recordings just lying around somewhere? Because the game needs to tell you parts of a bigger story, of course. It needs to give you background. So they never really make sense. On the other hand, given how cheap sheets of paper are, finding some note somewhere where someone, made that draft, then maybe photographed it with their cell phone and, went away or something, and left the paper note there because they didn't need it anymore, kind of makes more sense. And so, I'm just assuming this is such cheap technology that people don't think much about leaving them lying around. And I mean, especially the last time you shut down all these devices, I would think if these devices were worth like more than 4 cents or something, you would take it with you. But he didn't. And there's no indication that he got killed in these tunnels and intended to have another go through to pick them all up and never got to it. So, Montgolfier flight. You'll see a recreation of the Montgolfier brothers' hot air balloon. This is the second model of the balloon to grace the Las Vegas Strip after the first one was sold to a casino in Shanghai in 2031. The original Montgolfier's balloon took flight in Paris, France in 1783 and was the first free flight by humans. But the two brave men who jumped aboard weren't the first beings to take to the air. King Louis XVI had insisted on a test flight that sent a sheep, a duck, and a rooster into the skies 3 months earlier than their human data corrupted. Okay. So we need to get somewhere over there. I'm kind of worried. Where did all the burrowers and the snapmaw go? Is that one? Las Vegas timeline. For Miss Chavez's history class. 15,000 BC. Mammoths, woolly elephants, come to Nevada before it is called Nevada to eat. 8,000 BC, Native Americans come and drop pteroglyphs, which are different from pterodactyls. So that's some schoolchild's thing. Some people from a place called Spain in Europe call Las Vegas in 1829, which means the meadows. Okay, I didn't know what Las Vegas actually means. Good, now I've learned that too. 1905. The city is made a city and the railroad comes so people can rest and get water. 1931, a big dam called the Hoover Dam is made near Las Vegas. 1946, Benjamin Bugsy Siegel opens a hotel. 1951, big bombs are blown up in the desert. People come to watch the mushroom clouds and our city is called Atomic City. Lots of hotels are builded. 1956, Elvis Presley performs in Las Vegas. 2007, a big hotel called the Stardust is exploded. Okay, I guess those are all still actual historical facts. 2030, it gets very hot and the animals die and the people say it is too hot and go away. 2035, Stanley Chen is very lucky and wins $3.2 million on a roulette wheel by guessing the numbers. 2037, people from Nevada and Arizona and California fight against robots when the government tries to make them leave because it's so hot. Almost nobody comes to Las Vegas anymore. 2040, Stanley Chen has used the lucky money and made more from making water that you can drink without getting diseases that make you sick. He pays his money for a big bubble over our city and a hotel called The Fountain. 2047, my school, Stanley Chen Elementary, is opened for children. Thank you, Mr. Chen, for everything that you've paid for our city where we live and for stopping it from turning into a desert. Okay. So he didn't actually manage to fix... Ah. Okay, he didn't like Elizabeth take a holistic approach and try to fix the entire planet. But rather what he did is like build a protective dome over like one city and make that livable again. And probably, you know, somehow either hoard or produce the water they needed. Their cell phones are the focuses. Find it difficult that you don't find more of them like in the first part, yeah. Where every corpse had a focus, yeah. The evil machines are still there, yeah, I'm sure they are. It's just, I'm worried because I can't see them, and they used to be right in front of my door, so if their patrol route hasn't changed, they should be surprising me here every second. And that's why I'm worried. Alright. What was that sound? Not good. Okay, that's the kid's timeline, and it's weird that it's inside that car. Like, it, by all means, it should have been, you know, washed out or something. But yeah, you're right, like, for them, kind of the focus is the main device they have, so this is probably more like having a very cheap keyboard that you could leave lying around. Ah, I think I'm seeing something. Yes. Oh, yeah, and there you are. Okay, yeah, I should actually pay attention. So fire and electricity. And what does the burrower? I think that was susceptible to acid. Or something. Alright. Oh, how are we ammo-wise? I mean, most of these are almost full.
The Purge left these machines behind. I could sneak by them. Deal with the big one first.
Okay. You? Yeah, weak versus acid. Why does it say deal with the big one first? I would have kind of tried to pick off the small ones first.
Gotcha!
Oh. Whoops. Okay, that worked, except that I fell down. Okay. Where did the other ones go? Big one is actually searching for me. You can't see me. Are there any other? It's kind of annoying because I don't really see any good places to hide. Because I don't think the kelp is still there. They're a bit mean in that regard. So again, what are you weak against? Fire and electricity. So I mean, I can probably just throw a spike at you and explode parts of you that way, and I can use the bolt blaster to electrify you a little bit. Alright, good reminder about the smoke bombs game. I should probably
Quiet breaths now.
make that my current item so I can disappear if I need to. Okay. is no longer worried. So I guess we'll stand out in the open. Oh, I guess I destroyed some of its ice canisters, yes. Okay, you're weak versus acid. I think we can deliver that. No, we can't. We need a different bow for that. Let's see if this one... Nope. Okay, I guess we'll have to wait a little bit. Until we can get you. Are you close enough now? Yes. Whoa, okay. That was a little rude. Oh, I guess that's for...
Acid's eating at its armor.
Okay. Probably heal. Okay. We even... Yeah, okay. I already read that. So I'm wondering if these are... make me invisible as well. It's... you don't really get the invisible indicator anymore. Like, there used to be an eye at the top of the screen that told you when you were invisible.
Extra?
And I'm kind of confused that that's gone. Excuse me. That's gone. Oh, and here are some... I guess those are the stealth things. We have the stealth mushrooms that we have to activate. And I probably need to go... over where the big guy, where I killed that one. Where was that? Here, yeah. Don't forget my loot here. It's so nice when you actually don't have to worry as much about killing something like a snap maw. Taste of the high life. By the way, the whole story about this, like what you could read out of the story from the child, it says like, oh, our high school was named after him, and thank you, Mr. Chen, you know, for making our city livable. You know, that kind of speaks of that he had a great deal of influence. And of course, that's not always, you know, that might mean that, you know, nobody said anything bad about him so far. Because, you know, he kind of had them in a vice. So we'll see if Chen actually turns out to be a nice guy or not. I understand you want me to come back, and I'm missing Jesse too, but this takes the personal touch. Our competitors can shift 100,000 units of VAT grown in one call. You know the only way we are going to take some of that business is by building relationships. I've got 3 more appointments tomorrow and a good feeling about the first 2. If I land just one of them, it'll be enough to keep the farm going for a few more years. There's one chef. He likes to talk about the way you can taste the difference with real meat. He says it's like homeopathy. The texture and composition might be the same, but you can taste the imprint of life. Whatever he's talking about, it seems to sell. And there's a lot of holostars at his restaurants. So just a few more days, okay? They say if you want to take a gamble, you come to Vegas. Baby, tomorrow our number comes up. Okay. So I guess these were farmers? Who were kind of selling, real meat from real animals instead of just selling cloned meat. Vat grown, like chemically created meat. Anything on the scanner yet? Nope. Alright. I'm getting just slightly impatient. Oh.
Okay. Poseidon is through there. But where did that machine go?
Aloy! It's a miracle!
It's in that pool.
Come on.
Hey, was this you? Did you lower the waters?
Yeah, but there's a new problem. That thing's in our way.
Wow. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult to get the embers with that around.
As the scrappy band of adventurers beheld the beast, they knew what they had to do.
What? Are you crazy? Hush now. She saved our Delph.
Okay then. Stay up here and start firing when I engage.
Okay. That's something bigger.
Places, fellas. Get to that overhang.
Tide Ripper. Okay, what? Let's scan you first.
Frost will hurt it.
Okay. Frost and electricity is what it doesn't like. So luckily we have both. Oh, but we can't use it from up here, of course. Okay. I thought I was hidden way better, but
I need more ammo. Any ammo.
okay. Okay. We gotta. Come on, Aloy, you can do this. Okay. Why don't we hide for a little bit? Maybe this is hidden, I don't know. Oh, and heal, of course. Okay, it seems to have lost track of us. That's good. Well,
Now's my chance!
okay. Almost done. Come on. Yes.
Aloy!
And nobody had to die. And now 5 more. Oh. Okay, there's a ladder up there where they are, I guess. I guess I could have gone up there.
Come on, gentlemen, get a move on.
Let's see what we're getting from you.
I'm cooking my armor in this heat.
And I guess that's covered in sand. Okay. Oh, okay. You're coming down. That's nice as well. Cute. You were lucky that you're playing on easy. Usually that's a 10-minute fight. Yeah,
Everyone
I can
okay?
imagine.
Little fracas never hurt anyone.
Yeah, I don't really... You know, I want the story. I'm not really a fan of the combat beyond. You know, like, I like my fights. I don't really play chess, though that's a bad analogy, but like as a cliche,
Bereft of strength.
I
Planned on charging for this show of ours. It just doubled.
you know, but I kind of like the more strategic chess game approach. Like, I want to go to point A, do something there, go to point B, do something
Look
there,
at all these embers.
and then basically have it done, you know. I don't want to have to whittle down an enemy for a long time. That just doesn't entertain me, so that's why I play on easy.
You know, we can't take all these back to the claim, right?
Where there's a spark, there's a way.
You guys all right?
More than all right. We did it! All the embers we could ever want, and it's all thanks to you.
Very, heartwarming. But maybe we can just, you know, grab what we came here for and get out before any more of those things decide to show up.
Now, shard counter. Nothing wrong with a little reveling. Though we should probably let our flame-haired friend get going. I believe she has business down here, does she not?
Right, of course. You need any help?
I can handle it from here.
Very well. We'll start taking some of the embers upstairs. Holler if you need us.
Thanks.
Also, on normal, you don't get most of the loot, because you have to shoot down the components. Yeah. That's when I read that, I was like, okay, yeah, that's good for me, because, I mean, I kind of, you know, I wouldn't mind, but of course it makes things easier. Like, if they said, well, you have to use tear ammo to get loot off the machines, I would definitely have less loot, because I think in that fight, I'm not sure I would have bothered trying to get all the loot off. Oh, okay, here's one of the
first of many
embers of the
And he carried the precious treasure. One
projectors.
carries the eternal spark of hope.
Right. But also, the first of many dividends.
You play chess for the story? Pretty much, yeah. That's the reason I don't play chess, because I want the story. But that's a nice detail, that they put the little glowing projectors on the floor here.
Oh, picture it, fellas. A whole stage, no, a whole arena filled with these lights.
What are these? Oh, are these also... from the embers? These dolphin sounds? I guess so.
Poseidon should be somewhere beyond this door. Time to bring it home.
I'm kind of wondering if I'm missing something in here, if I should go exploring some more. Or if I should just continue with the story. Well, I think in most cases you can go back, so I guess I should be fine just continuing with the story. There's few, at least in the previous game, there were few, you know, you can only get here one time locations. I mean, unless the Zenith shows up and blows everything up. I mean, I'm kind of worried. Like, there should be, you know, the Zenith should be looking for other machines, for other AIs, components, whatever you want to call them. So I would kind of be expecting one to show up anytime soon, now that we've cleared the way.
Okay. Poseidon should be hiding in some kind of processor. I need to find a console to gain access to it.
The one-time location fucked me up in the first game. Missed one power cell for the... There was no one-time location in the first game, was there? At least for the power cells? I think it was just somewhere you had to find a different entrance. Or had to find them at all. Like, basically there is every main story location
Use that console.
contains a power cell. And you have to... The two that I found the hardest was... There was this one kind of like skyscraper in the desert. That... or was it a desert? Not really. But like a slightly more barren location than the others. Where you had to find a slightly different entrance. And I had real trouble finding the entrance again coming back. And the other one... One cell was... Oh, at Mother's Heart. And this place was shut till near end. Yeah, I guess... Huh. I don't remember. Like, you get there after the Proving. All Mother's Mountain, or whatever it was called. But yeah, I went exploring on my way out of there, so... I basically... That might have been one of the first power cells I found. For me, it was more the problem, the original place... The first delve that Aloy falls in as a kid, that was kind of a problem for me. You know, finding that again. You were able to bug yourself through some walls, but it took much time. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I got lucky and didn't have that problem because I tend to search everything.
I can't give up on this place. I'm leaving everything on standby. The system's equipped for runs for decades, if not hundreds of years. It's a long shot, but maybe someday, against all odds, someone will find this place again, marvel at its lights and wonders, discover a fortune and boundless opportunity, make it their own dream. After all, if the city can give me a second chance, if water can flow in a wasteland, anything's possible.
He was right.
I can't do it.
I like that she says he was right. Wait, can we... I'm gonna play this
I
again.
can't do it.
See
I
if we
can't
get
give
a
up
full
on this
reaction.
I'm leaving everything on standby. The system's equipped for runs for decades, if not hundreds of years. It's a long shot, but maybe someday, against all odds, someone will find this place again, marvel at its lights and wonders, discover a fortune and boundless opportunity, make it their own dream. After all, if the city can give me a second chance, if water can flow in a wasteland, anything's possible.
He was right.
Okay, that's all she says. But that's nice. That makes it feel more real, that Aloy, you know, it's not just this is being played back to you, the player. It's this small... He was right, you know? Kind of reminds you that Aloy, or gives you the illusion, actually, but, you know, from a storytelling point of view, it reminds you that that Aloy is a person, and that Aloy is the one listening to this, and that she has her own thoughts. She goes, yeah, he was right. It actually helped someone here. It's these delvers are over the moon that they found all these holo projectors and can put on a show. And people will marvel at the things from Vegas. Hacked again. Hidden in the AC code, so someone must have inserted it via a thermostat interface. Pretty funny, actually. You know that holo ad for the Cravemen review over at the Vodka? Well, their loincloths disappeared. Went on for almost an hour before we shut it down. Chuckles aside, we can't let it happen again. I've been over the environmental and holo systems, and they look okay. On your shift, have a look at the water and filtration code. Hate to think what might happen if those systems were compromised. Would be a lot worse than a few naked Neanderthals on the strip. Okay. I wonder if that's a hint of things to come. If the Zeniths hacked Poseidon. I guess we'll see.
I'm here to bring you home, Poseidon. To Gaia.
Yes. Mother. All waters lead back to her.
Elizabeth Sobek. Alpha Prime.
Master override activated. Restoring Poseidon's subordinate function to original code.
Okay. Gotta bring this back to Gaia.
I wonder the message we just saw obtained one Gaia kernel. And I guess we lost... No, I guess we don't have one right now. But I think I mentioned that in other streams before, but that that your inventory can be a way for game developers to easily save game state. Like, they don't really have to keep track too much of what you did in this mission. As long as you have that one item in your inventory, you know, that is the right Gaia kernel. And I suspect that they have like 15 objects that are all just named Gaia kernel. But, you know, one is like the Gaia kernel containing Poseidon, another is the one containing Minerva, you know, that kind of thing. So that if you pick them up, once you pick them up, they know, okay, you finished certain previous missions or something, and so they can basically just count up how many cores you have or something. It doesn't even have to be a... Now that I think of it, it doesn't really have to be the Gaia kernel thing.
Looks like taking Poseidon triggered a restart of the city's power system.
Oh, do we get the Las Vegas animations
Hair's
now?
thick with this heat.
But anyway, so they can actually all be the same type of item, and it's just like a currency, you know? You have, like, if you have one kernel, then you're at this point in the story. If you have the second, third, it doesn't really matter which one you get in which order, after all. Oh, well, it does matter which ones you get in which order, I guess. Because there might be functionality you get. And we can...
Roland and crew must have headed back up top. With all the embers they could carry, I bet.
Yeah, okay, now it looks completely... like there's a lot of the sea stuff is gone now. I wonder if the ones that they picked up got reset as well now. Mermaid. Shark cage experience. Frozen yogurt, a swirl of life. What is it called? Dig D. Okay. Soup. There's like, I don't know, is that a lotus flower or something rotating on the top there? Nice. Every sea stuff is gone, sadly. That's why I also keep it before manual save. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't plan to make like a separate walkthrough where I have to go back and show certain locations. Oh no! The fish are still there. Interesting. That those of all things stayed. And there is a Poseidon up there. Who knows, maybe that was why Poseidon went into this CPU. So it's a mermaid casino or something. Okay. So let's find out a way to get back out of here, I guess. And grab some loot while we're at it. Oh, that worked. Very close, but it worked. Okay, but that was an entire city under a dome. And that's why it managed to survive. because the sand could pile up on top and not in between. And that's also why we were able to access it at all, of course. Because everything else we would have had to spend centuries digging everything out. Is there anything else over here? Ah, okay, that's the overhang they were on. Now I get it. Okay. I kind of expected the holograms here to be noisier, like in the sense of, you know, advertising to you or whatever. Huh. Oh, there's a vista point here somewhere. Okay, and this is... spoilers, you should have told me that this is where the vista point actually leads me to. But that would of course be nice to find. I don't really see a signal so far though, so might have to find it. Okay, I guess we can what are these? All grapple points, okay. Yeah, this is obviously kind of these spots are a bit of a boss fight arena. I guess there's a lot of these hologram-like things that are actually just like lighting. Oh, what's this? Voice-to-text transcript. P. Collins. This is the land of the free. How can we be free if we can't even drive our own cars? Smith Richardson, Ogler 7. As your lawyer, I must remind you that removing the car's self-drive automation could lead to... The whole point of this case is to return my fine vintage automobile to its original original condition. And that means no robots. Yes, and in our papers, this is a piece of history. American history. From when we made things. Do they want all our history to vanish? I'm not sure that the court... Oh, I know the court will say, it's just a car. Safety must come first. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, it is likely that... But that's not what this is about. It's about returning this car to its original, unchained, unbridled, American... Okay. I understand that, you know, like, there is an easy solution to that in other countries. Where, basically, what you can do is... Jeez, these colors are gaudy. You know, is, you get the car, you are allowed to modify the car, but then it's no longer street legal. So you have to keep it in a You know, like in a private location, in a showroom or whatever. Or you might drive it on a racetrack by taking it there with a trailer. And that's, you know, something, you know, that people do in other countries. Okay. Why? Oh, there's something up there. Okay, how do we get there? Probably by going back up and then down again. Okay, we can't go up here. This is interesting. You know, like, I expected it to be, you know, like, the thing you expect from Las Vegas, which is gaudy, loud, and advertisement. But it's so damaged that it more seems to be solemn and sad. Ralph from Vector, Elite Styles. Okay, I guess that's some sort of fashion. Right, here's another data point. Don't... Aloy. Custom order. Hey Wendy, I had to leave early today. Could you handle something for me? That custom order for Mr. Tuberville in Family Suite 115 just came in. The receipt makes it very clear that it is not to be sent to his room. He wants the package sent out to Miss Olivia in New Paradise. Yes, that Miss Olivia, and no, he clearly doesn't know. So don't you go telling him, girl. If she wants to keep squeezing gifts out of these cheats, then good luck to her. I thought maybe she'd finally got too old to reel them in, but Liang said she saw Miss Olivia on Tuesday and she looked like she was in her early 30s again. So she must have gone back in for more work. And it couldn't have been cheap, that's for sure. Treatment or not, I hope I've still got half her energy when I'm in my 60s. Okay, I have to run. Get that gift sent out to her. Usual drone service. See you Wednesday. Oh. What's this? That seemed to move, so either it's a drone. How do I get out of here? This might be a slight problem. Game. Ah. It's a drone up on the surface, okay. And I don't have to worry about that too much, I guess. Okay. That's interesting, that they went for this mood with this place. That it's more about, oh, pity Las Vegas is gone, musically. And not... sorry. And not about, you know, like, more, you know, reenacting and giving Aloy an idea of what Las Vegas was. That's there. Okay. That doesn't seem to work. And how does one get in there if one did? Okay, that doesn't continue anywhere. Okay, I'm not sure I'm gonna find anything here, so I think just to wrap up the mission, why am I crouching? Oh, and that's a holographic Eiffel Tower, isn't it? No, it's actually... So they left the foot, but didn't actually give you a new... like, they had to build the dome over it. Fat shake. Let's get lazy. Okay, why? Okay.
Everything's sticking. Ugh, damn this heat.
The rest of the Eiffel Tower is also shown on the surface. Oh, yeah, right. You can see it here. You see that there's like an opening for the tower, so he didn't even cut it off. Yeah, and right. I actually noticed that earlier, that like when we saw the hologram, I went like, that looks like that tower bit that we saw. Okay, so I guess we're leaving for now. And maybe we'll try to come back to collect the vistas or something. Usually that game lets you do stuff like that. After the game is over, gives you like a save game. Or so. A bit sad, because that was always like, you know, it feels like a meaningful moment for Aloy when she finds something that Elizabeth made. Don't worry, spoiler, you will return. Uh-oh. That sounds ominous. I mean, this seems like a... Oh, but I guess they have lots of huge maps only for one mission or something, so... not necessarily not necessarily an indicator. Of what we will, you know, of how important the location is. But I mean, this is a nice location, and I hope that there will be some stuff to do. But how do I get, maybe... Okay, let's see if we can climb up somewhere. Yeah. Ooh. It's just going like, how the heck am I supposed to get up there? I mean, it would... I could also understand if they went, okay, there's some stuff here. And... Oh, I think that's the location we swam through, right? We already scanned this, didn't we? Yeah. It looks so different when we're no longer swimming through. But that was, yeah, where we came in.
Looks like that elevator I found earlier. Maybe I can catch a ride instead of climbing back up.
Whee! That's nice. And again, that's basically a load tunnel now. Elevators are really popular in games. I mean, we know from Mass Effect, but... you know, because you can limit them to the elevator shaft, even if it's an open one like this. Tower of Tears. Exit the ruin. Uh-oh.
Whatever she did, it must have powered up the whole city.
Is that an eagle? How much did all this cost?
What's going on out there?
Oh, the show my old Gramps always wanted.
There's another.
His dream realized, his old Gramps' legacy ensured. Our hero beheld the sea of desert lights and wept at his good fortune.
When I saw the embers as a child, I never dreamed they could be like this. Thank you, Aloy. Did you find what you were looking for?
I did. And now I have to move on.
Oh. Oh. Come back when you can. I got big plans for this place.
I thought you wanted to put on shows with the Embers back in the claim.
Oh, no. This is the show. Oh, can you imagine? Folks from all over the land coming to take it all in. Plus some food and a nice place to stay.
Not to mention a variety of entertainment venues.
Don't forget, games of chance. Plenty of shards to be had there for certain.
A new dream, huh? I hope you make it happen. Goodbye, gentlemen.
This delve was a story for the ages. All thanks to you.
If Moreland and crew's gonna stay, maybe I should come back and check on them later. For now, I need to get Poseidon back to Gaia. But with all the ruins here, might want to look around before I head back. And with my new diving mask, I can swim as deep as I need to. Like at those deep water sites I found earlier.
Mm-hmm. Good reminder and something I'm looking forward to. Although I think that will have to wait until next week. Oh, this is
build a
pretty.
place for kids too, where they can play, parlor games.
Like a carnival?
Yeah. But like, we should make it sound extra big and extra fun.
You mean call it something like Carnival Carnival?
Okay, just saying something twice doesn't make it sound better, Abaddon.
I think I remember there was something in Vegas that was called like Circus Circus or something. Wasn't there? So I guess that's a little bit of a jab at some of the naming.
Maybe we could have attractions here that duplicated those from other cities.
Like a recreation of Elderman's Hall in Mainspring?
Exactly! Or the Palace of the Sun in Meridian.
Travelers came to the miracle in the desert, beheld all the spectacle the world had to offer.
Yeah, it's basically the same as Las Vegas was. They're just going through the list and going like, what did Vegas... Oops. What did Vegas do? Return to the base. Because it's all about that base, no rebels. It's all about that base, no rebels. It's all about that base. Alright. That was a nice little story. I was kind of surprised that, at least at the end, kind of, I expected, this turning Las Vegas back on. Kind of, sounds like a signal to the Zeniths, That's probably something they can, notice on some measurements or something. Some big power source was reactivated and there's light that you can see from space. Ah, okay, here we are. Well, I guess we can ask you for a new rumor to get some more side quests.
I see you, champion. Sit, please. I hear we have you to thank for healing the wound in the sand. My people are in your debt.
How's the commander?
Distracted. Beset by new problems.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, okay.
If you walk
I
by,
should drop
you'll
by,
miss
find
out
out
on a
what's going
good
on.
trade.
How is the commander? So I guess this is the neutral way to say whoever we sided with, without having to actually record two versions of the voice line. Thank goodness there's a grapple point up there, so we don't have to climb all the way. Alright. That music sounded a little too ominous. I hope that's just how slightly off the music is in this game and not an indicator of things that have happened. No, it looks okay here.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
No dead bodies and things at least. Oh, let's see. Do we have any unlocks we can do here? Nope, and we haven't done any other cauldrons, I guess. Okay. Fine with me. Alright, that's the other's room. Guess let's talk to you folks if you have something to say.
Aloy, you're back. How's the search going?
Still working on it.
Okay, nothing
I should
new.
let you get back to Zoe.
Not gonna complain about that.
See if Zoe has anything to say.
I was wondering when you'd be back.
Okay.
I should get going.
May you unearth that which you seek.
It's weird. Usually, like, I'm not a fan of, like, sci-fi species or tribes in stories like this. Being all about metaphors from, like, their like, main job, as the cliche goes, Like, I don't know, Ferengi going, all about money and, tit for tat and things like that. But here, it works, actually. I think it's, may you unearth that which you seek. Sounds so natural. Like, it's a phrase where you immediately know what she means, and it's not trying too hard, but of course, it's a plants and growth metaphor. And all of the things... And it's basically just that, it's a human metaphor. We say unearthing someone. Something. Someone. Jesus, don't dig out the corpses. Okay, let's have a chat with Gaia, and maybe then our friends will have
Welcome
something
back,
new to say.
Aloy. I see you have recovered Poseidon.
How does she know that it's Poseidon?
Aloy, can you come downstairs? Beta has something you need to hear.
Okay. I'll be right down.
Aloy, I have managed to unlock additional rooms within the facility.
Got it.
Cool.
Hey, Gaia. I'm back.
So I see what is on your mind.
Okay. This all sounds like stuff we've already talked about.
You mentioned that the superstorms have subsided. Is that Ether at work?
Oh, no.
Yes. Thanks to Ether's capabilities, weather patterns in the local region should mostly stabilize for the time being.
That'll be a relief for the Tenakth. One of their villages is still recovering after a mudslide caused the whole place to flood.
I will continue to stabilize the atmosphere for as long as I can.
Why did Ether take up residence in an ancient war museum?
As with the other subordinate functions, Ether needed to install itself on a processor with adequate storage and power. One in the museum appears to have been sufficient, given that the holographic displays were still active.
So Ether was assured it could stay for as long as it needed to.
Correct. Though it is curious that it chose a place surrounded with the ancient ruins of aircraft.
Maybe it also felt at home there. What can you tell me about Demeter?
Demeter sows, fertilizes, and tends to plant life.
So once I bring it back, all the blight out there will start to get better.
While permanent restoration requires the abilities of Hephaestus, I may be able to improve conditions in the region for a while. However, a word of warning. Like Ether and Poseidon, Demeter's response to my query was highly irregular. Alone and frightened, it may have taken measures to assure its security.
Okay, I'll keep my guard up. Were you able to make use of Poseidon?
Yes. Many rivers, streams, and lakes associated with the regional watershed have been detoxified. As a result, red algae growth levels have seen a marked decline. According to my data, however, it appears a localized occurrence of red algae continues to persist near the coast.
Maybe I'll look into it when I can.
Oh, near the coast. I think we heard that the Zeniths had their base somewhere offshore at the coast. So that would make sense that they'd have something that overrides what Poseidon does there, maybe.
So Poseidon spent the last 20 years hiding out in Las Vegas. From the data I found, it seems the city had an advanced water reclamation system. Is that why Poseidon went there?
Most likely. In an effort to protect itself, Poseidon sought out a safe harbor where it could access water supply functions. There, buried and encased in a protective dome, it could guard against any threats.
Like 3 Oseram showmen?
I suspect that was not the first time it felt the need to repel trespassers.
The missing subordinate functions. What can you tell me about them?
Artemis rewilded the Earth with a variety of animal species. Eleuthia was responsible for gestating, nurturing, and acculturating a new generation of human beings. Apollo was tasked with preserving, organizing, and disseminating vast archives of human knowledge and cultural achievements. Unfortunately, all archived Apollo data was purged on the 2nd of February, 2066, by order of Ted Faro.
Pharaoh, huh? I really hate that guy.
Understandable. He appears to have been pathologically narcissistic, impulsive, and unstable.
All 3 of the missing functions have already served their purpose, or were prevented from doing so. Do you still need them?
Restoring their remaining elements would increase my heuristic processing density, empowering my overall function. Unfortunately, as we now know they are in the possession of Far Zenith, attaining them in the short term is very likely impossible.
I guess our best shot at recovering them is by taking over the Zenith base. But we'll need Hephaestus and a bunch of combat machines to do that.
Correct.
So I guess we're building an army in this game. We shall see. It would kind of... You know, it would make for a more interesting story. If, you know, we wouldn't be able to use Hephaestus. Like, say... Either, like, we can only use Hephaestus for a short while, and then the Zeniths catch up to us. Or, we wouldn't be able to use Hephaestus at all because that would alert the Zeniths. And so we have to do the final battle by, you know, organizing the whole Forbidden West against the Zeniths. That would be kind of like the more interesting story, because it would be, you know, the new humans created by Zero Dawn. Taking on the old humans, the Zeniths. that would be such a more interesting story, because it would show, like, it's another symbol to show they are worth something. They're not just primitives like the Zeniths think of them. They can actually, like, just because you have technology on your side doesn't mean, you're better. So that would be kind of cool. But on the other hand, how realistic is it when they have such advanced technology? But maybe we'd find some way to block their technology or something like that, And then afterwards, maybe we'd get Hephaestus, and could fix the entire ecosystem. That would be kind of nicer than just creating a machine army. On the other hand, if Aloy uses Hephaestus to create a machine army, that means they'll have two reasonably large armies of machines going up against each other. The Zenith machines and the Zero Dawn machines. And of course the Zenith machines, they look a lot more modern than what Zero Dawn did. So they did some development in the last couple of years. So that would make the whole thing interesting as well, but they're still the underdogs.
So, once Hephaestus has been recovered and merged, you'll regain the capacity to mass-produce machines at cauldrons around the world.
Yes, and to program their behavioral routines, or even control them directly.
So you could build an army of machines, attack the Zeniths and take them out.
It is in my nature to take any and all necessary steps to preserve life on Earth, human life above all. So yes, once I have been empowered with the capacities of Hephaestus, I could design, build, and command such an army. Given the nature of the far Zenith threat, doing so may be our only option. I must admit, however, that I have misgivings about using such technology to kill, no matter how aggressive the enemy.
That's good. It means you have a conscience. As Elizabeth intended.
Indeed.
And that's kind of the thing that I think makes it unlikely that it'll just be a straightforward battle between two machine armies in the end. That it's not what Gaia would really do. Like, basically the machine armies would be, what took down the old people. The old ones, whatever they were called. So that doesn't seem like the right thing for Aloy to do. Like, I could see where Gaia just goes, no, I'm not going to make an army, but I am going to make regular machines. And if you and your friends go and override a whole bunch of them, and ride them into battle, I'm not going to stop you, or something like that,
How did you figure out that the extinction signal came from Sirius?
The key came with data on your focus.
Yeah, that was
from
the
Silence
time.
Interrogation of Hades.
Why would the signal keep transmitting?
Because this...
Which would take...
Correct. So that you're... With
Yeah, that
I
was the
simply...
whole time
because of
thing.
Sirius.
Okay, we've done this.
So from what Beta told me, I guess we can assume the Zenith's technology is powerful in all sorts of ways, right?
Yes. As your encounters with them amply demonstrate, they appear to make extensive use of robotic servitors. Further, they seem to be equipped with some kind of protective energy field that shields them from harm.
They seemed indestructible, but that weapon the rebels used stripped their shield somehow.
Throughout history, every defensive technology has eventually been defeated by an offensive counterpart. while we lack the anti-shielding weapon, were I to absorb Hephaestus and utilize it to create a large force of combat machines, no shielding could withstand such an assault indefinitely.
So there's hope.
Always.
You know what? That could be one way to kind of make the big army, but not... You know, not have Gaia go up directly against humans. If Gaia decided to, for example, just make a huge fleet of birds and send them at a shield to take it out, so that we can get in. Or something like that.
So, I guess Beta's here to stay. I gave her a focus. Told her to talk to you to see if she can help. She's... not what I expected.
What were you expecting?
I don't know. Someone more helpful, I guess. And less pessimistic.
It is true, she overestimated our progress. However, it is also worth noting that her confidence in your abilities emboldened her to escape the Zeniths.
I guess so.
Give her time. She may yet come around.
How's Katalo doing?
I have detected that the loss of his arm still deeply pains him. In an effort to remedy this, I have discussed a potential solution with him. I believe he will want to fill you in on the details.
A solution? I'll check in with him when I can, then.
Please don't give him like a robot arm or grow back an arm. I guess we don't have the cloning subcomponent, so I think if they do, it's more a... But still, you know. We don't have Hephaestus either, so... technically we shouldn't be able to build the machine either, I would say.
Varl and Zoe seem to like spending time together.
Indeed. While studying Old World data, Zoe discovered references to a dietary lifestyle known as vegetarianism. She appreciated the similarities with Utaru practices and encouraged Varl to try out this lifestyle.
And how did that go?
I believe they have agreed to disagree.
Oh.
How's Erend handling things?
He is becoming increasingly accustomed to use of the focus, after an initial incident.
What did he do?
He unfortunately crushed his first focus as he attempted to affix it to his temple. Amongst a number of Oseram curses, I believe he also blamed the focus for being dainty. He has given repeated assurances that it will not happen again.
Well, good thing we have a lot of extras, I guess. So there's a few people here now, and they're learning. All about you, the ancient world. Almost like what was supposed to happen before Apollo was purged.
Yes. While the loss of the Apollo database was catastrophic, there is still much that can be gleaned from the data you have uncovered. For instance, Varl has been reviewing the last recorded entries from those who perished during the Pharaoh Plague. Hearing their hopes and fears made him quite somber.
Anything I should be worried about?
I do not believe so. I have elected not to intervene, to allow him to process this on his own terms.
So this facility, the Regional Control Center, it was meant to oversee the terraforming system?
For the local region, yes. Had humans received their education from the Apollo database, They would have then been guided here to assume operation. As that never happened, this place remained vacant.
Until Minerva decided to settle here. So I guess this room was meant to keep an eye on conditions outside?
Yes. From here, the facility's operators would have been able to observe weather and machine activity in real time.
That would have been quite a sight.
It may still be possible to view some of them, should you find and reconnect the cameras to this room's console.
I'll keep a lookout. So the Hades Proving Lab, where I found the Gaia kernel. It used to be a Pharaoh research facility?
Yes. Prior to appropriation by Zero Dawn, the facility was used to engineer and test advanced computer viruses. It appears to have been one of many research initiatives by Pharaoh Automated Solutions.
I guess it wasn't enough to build automated killing machines. He wanted viruses to infect them with too. So, a while back, before the battle at Meridian, I went into Banuk territory. I discovered another AI there, one not related to Zero Dawn. Cyan. It was created to oversee operations for a volcanic stabilization project, and it spent the last 1,000 years in isolation. I'm guessing you didn't know about it?
No. From the data on your focus, it seems that Cyan was cut off from the outside world. An effort by its creators to protect it from the Pharaoh plague.
Any chance it could help us now?
I have already attempted contact, with no success. Given its previous experience with accepting an outside network request, I imagine it is unwilling to do so again.
Right. Because last time Hephaestus enslaved it. Well, that's too bad. I think the two of you would have had a lot to talk about.
I wonder... It would be cute to have a quest where we go back there to collect Cyan to maybe, you know, make up the difference between us and whatever the Zeniths throw at us, which would which could be another AI. So, you know, if we need more power.
The processor Ether was installed on was part of an ancient war museum. A memorial to something called the Hot Zone Crisis. Do you know anything about it?
My knowledge of historical events was unfortunately lost with the Apollo database. However, climate data indicates a peak in regional temperatures in the 2030s. Such conditions would see extreme, prolonged droughts, an increase in dust storms, and a loss of habitable landmass.
But they wouldn't have built a museum in the middle of a wasteland. So I guess things got better eventually.
Yes. Data suggests that temperatures returned to average levels in the clawback era of the 2040s.
Yeah, we've heard about that in the previous game and some of the data points we found, and I think it got mentioned here again.
There was an ancient tank embedded in the bulwark, buried under a bunch of boulders. Any idea how it got there?
During the Pharaoh plague, the US military resumed the use of human combatants, as automated machinery was unreliable. It is possible the vehicle was part of a pre-automated war fleet.
So they fought against the Pharaoh machines in the valley, until the mountain was blasted apart and buried them. When I dove down into Vegas, I found data about the man who built the dome over the city, Stanley Chen. It turns out he was a member of Far Zenith. But if he loved Vegas so much, why did he abandon it? Why not try to save it?
The Zeniths, at their core, have proven to be exceptional survivalists. Faced with overwhelming odds of extinction, they chose to flee.
Even still, what he achieved. Water to the wasteland, an entire city brought back to life. 1,000 years later, the whole place was still on standby, just waiting for someone to come along and wake it up. When we were at the facility where we found Beta, there were records that said Far Zenith were researching embryogenesis. I know they traded their ectogenic chambers to Zero Dawn, but why were they researching it in the first place?
At this point, we can only speculate. Perhaps at one time they meant the Odyssey to be a colony ship, necessitating such technology. As their goals evolved over time, so did their areas of research.
So they got more selfish as the risks of staying on Earth kept rising. I guess I should get going.
As you say, be well, Aloy.
Alright. Now we get to talk to the others. That sounds fun. You have to go to work now. Okay, have a fun time at work. Yeah, I'm going to have to finish soon as well. So see you in a second, I guess. Wait, not see you in a second, but like, see you on Monday, I meant. Oh no, he plays Strike as well? No. I don't want Strike. Let's see if Zoe has anything to say now.
Back again.
Nope.
I should probably go.
I'll be here if you need me.
Okay, so I guess we'll track down the rest.
There it is.
Okay. Nobody in there. Oh, what's this? It's a little spaceship hologram.
It's a shuttle. Like the one I blew up at Far Zenith's launch facility. Varl seemed pretty interested in space travel. I guess he wanted a keepsake.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Okay, that's Aloy's room, isn't it? No, that's theirs. Okay. Each time when I come in, I go like, oh yeah, this is Aloy's room. Nope. Not every room is Aloy's room, Uli. I mean, maybe technically, you know, every room here is Aloy's room because, you know, she made everything work, but, okay, let's see. The sling we can upgrade, or the bolt blaster, but that's not the bolt blaster we're using. Oh, and this is the one with the drill spikes. Okay, so since we actually have that sling equipped, I guess we'll use that and use up our only use up our only green shine cluster. Alright. I guess we're good. And let's just head for the next room. That's the
Better see what Beta and
exit.
Varl are up to first. It sounded important.
Yeah. Okay, they're in there, apparently. That's the other exit. But I like that they put this message in. You know, that you don't leave.
Looks like Gaia was able to unlock that door. There's a lot of equipment in here. Gaia, what was all this for?
This room was designed for management of the facility's vast seed banks. From here, Control Center operatives would have monitored new crop rotations into the automated farmlands, now known as Plainsong.
I see.
So basically that's Zoe's office. Just because these the Utah.
I've been tackling the design of the Ag Lab. Place is gonna have a lot of seed stock to work with. My favorite? Sample 626. Calotropis gigantea. The crown flower. We used to have one in our backyard. Butterflies always fluttering around. Every morning, August would run out there to check under the leaves. See if any caterpillars turned into chrysalises. Now, I'd like to imagine that the future will be filled with them.
Cute. Okay. Oh, what's this?
According to this console, there are still thousands of plant samples stored deep below the facility. I could ask Gaia about them the next time I talk to her.
Okay, cool. Something for us to completely forget about until we find it in the dialogue tree next time.
The weapons of the Old Ones were powerful indeed, but much about war remains the same. You've returned.
Anything else you've been looking at with that focus?
Gaia showed me the knowledge you recovered out in the desert. I am no chaplain, but I'd be curious to test if something I read is true.
What is it?
The Old Ones believed one could hear the great waters, even in the middle of the desert, if you carried the carcass of a water animal with you. They called them seashells.
That sounds kind of gross.
If you hold a seashell to your ear, it sounds like the sea. And she goes like, yeah, that. Now that you phrased it that way, it kind of sounds gross. She's right.
I should head out.
On the wings of the 10.
Okay, we haven't really talked to him yet. About his arm. I thought there would be a conversation about that. Okay, so I guess we'll talk to Varl and Beta now. As a last wrap up, and maybe to get amped for next week. I like that Varl is kind of the ambassador, because, you know, he is like Aloy, but he's also, you know, Aloy is different because she grew up with all this. She's not so much into tradition. And Varl, like in dealing with other people, he knows what it is to have grown up with tradition and then have it turned up on its ear just recently. But, you know, he trusts Aloy and he knows her, and so he's a great ambassador for Aloy's cause. Now, of course, for Beta, I'm not sure if he's the right one. I guess, he can go to Beta and tell her, look, these are all the impossible things Aloy has done before breakfast. And so, that might give her an idea. And on the other hand, he's still quick enough on the uptake that he probably, doesn't, and flexible enough mentally to not be set in his traditional ways. So he probably can give Beta kind of some information that doesn't seem like, oh yeah, it's just a primitive who has seen another primitive use fire for the first time. And now he goes like, look, this is a great person because they can do fire. And then you could do fire too if you knew, We'll see what happens, so.
Hi! Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man.
She found that recording from the data on your focus. She's been watching it a lot. I think it helps calm her.
That's what it did for Aloy.
Too. Whenever I wanted to take my mind off things.
Daddy sure does love his little big...
But there's something you need to tell me?
While you were gone, I came down here to check on her. Then we started talking. Right, Beta? She's been thinking about how to capture Hephaestus, studying the data Gaia gave her. But we started talking about some other stuff. Just getting to know each other, right? And then she told me that one of the Zeniths might be different from the others.
Tilda. You saw her at the Hades Proving Lab.
Go on.
On the way to Earth, the Zeniths never showed their faces. My servitor caretaker referred to them as my benefactors, and promised I'd meet them someday, when I had learned enough.
And then?
One day, a data channel opened in my training interface. In it, Tilda was waiting for me, in a virtual replica of a house on a cliff, overlooking the ocean. It was beautiful. She showed me paintings, books, media files. We met there in secret many times. But a few months later, it stopped.
Can you tell us why, Beta?
I found some data about Tilda at the Hades Proving Lab. I think she was the liaison between Far Zenith and Zero Dawn. She knew Elizabeth Sobek, that's for sure.
Maybe that's why she reached out to you?
Okay, this is interesting. Of course, my first thought was, oh, Stanley, but no.
What else can you tell us about Tilda?
She liked to talk about her paintings.
What about herself? Did she ever talk about her life on Earth, how she joined the Zeniths, something like that?
She never said much about herself, and she hated it when I asked too many questions. But I think, back on Earth, she was an expert programmer, given that she built a data channel the other Zeniths couldn't detect.
Is there anything else about her that we might be able to use to our advantage?
She was the first real person who ever bothered to speak to me. I wasn't really assessing her for strengths and weaknesses.
You said that Tilda reached out to you using a data channel?
It appeared in my training interface as another assignment. When I opened it, there were a series of intermittent glitches. I realized they formed a transpositional cipher. Instructions on how to open up a new virtual space. When I entered it, my training interface disappeared. Instead of the usual holographic teachers and files, I was in a perfect recreation of her home.
And you're sure the other Zeniths never knew about it?
To them, it looked like I was still in training. toiling away. Alone.
And that is the big difference. Like the divergence point between Aloy and Beta is basically that Aloy grew up as Rost's child, whereas Beta basically grew up alone. Oh, wow. That's a tough one.
So this secret virtual space looked like a house with an ocean view?
I could see whitecaps and hear waves crashing on rocks below. And there were gulls crying outside. Inside, Tilda had frames that showed off her favorite paintings, changing at intervals to match the light. There was an armchair she liked. She'd sit there and gaze outside while I looked through her things. We spent hours in that house. I never wanted to leave.
Hi Tony, how's it going? Yeah, doing well, just wrapping up the last quest and kind of having some conversations with our companions about it, so then we're gonna have to wrap up the stream as well.
You said Tilda showed you paintings and let you access media files?
Every time we met, she showed me a new painting. I think she was Dutch. All of her favorite pieces were from their golden age in the 1600s. Portraits, allegories, ships at sea. She had so many.
They didn't interest you?
I liked her media portal. It had so much more than my training interface. Clips, shows, holos. My favorite was this one called Second Time Around, about a family whose kid comes back after disappearing during the Hot Zone crisis.
Right, but did this portal have anything about the Zeniths themselves? Anything we could use?
No. Any information about them was redacted.
All good, just woke up a bit late. Worked yesterday way too late on the cool stuff. Okay, that sounds like it was fun then. That's always nice if... You know, it's kind of nice if you can get lost in a project and just tinker a little bit.
So Tilda set up a secret virtual space where she could talk to you, a house on a cliff. Then later, she cut you off. But other than the fact that Tilda knew Elizabeth, you don't know why she did those things?
I don't! Okay? I thought of every possible reason that would make her leave, but whatever I did wrong, I don't know what it is. When I finally met the others, she ignored me. Acted like the data channel never existed. None of this even matters. Tilda's the same as the others. It won't help us defeat them.
Okay. Let's leave it at that then.
What's wrong?
I'm trying, Varl. But she is tough to take. I'm out there in the wilds, risking my life every day, and all she can do is hide in there and tell us how hopeless it all is. I'm sorry, she's had a rough time, but she is really not helping right now.
You always seem to be on top of everything, so I sometimes forget about what you've been through. I mean, it wasn't that long ago you were so banged up you couldn't even walk. About that. When I pulled you out of the water back near the proving lab, you were muttering Rost's name. You never talk about him, but he raised you, trained you. You must miss him a lot.
Of course I do. But I don't have time to think about that now. I need to get back out there.
Okay. I'll keep working with Beta. Gaia says she knows a lot about Zero Dawn. And maybe she just needs some time to adjust, and then she can help us with Hephaestus.
Sure. But I won't hold my breath.
Yeah, game is going well. I had some interesting... We got some diving gear. So now finally, when we have to go underwater, we're not constantly dying. From lack of air.
I don't think that door had power before, but... looks like it's malfunctioning.
Huh.
Looks like some kind of maintenance space.
Well, some loot. That's nice. Oh, and another spot. Yeah. So we had some fun in Las Vegas today. In the game, I mean. This looks like the very same junction we went through earlier.
Power cells? Huh.
Oh. Come on. Can we put it in there? It says pick up energy cell. But not actually plug it in. Oh, I guess the room continues. Well, let's leave those two here for now and see. Okay, this is missing one.
The door won't open. But maybe
if it had power. Yes. I know. I don't think I would,
That did it.
Aloy? A bunch of lights just turned on up here? Was that you?
Oh. Huh. Yeah, I guess it was.
Ah, interesting. So we're back down here and we powered something, I guess. Is this missing? This looks like... Ah, this is the... Okay.
Pam, whoop-pata.
It's a little loud, Aaron.
I know. It makes you want to punch something.
More like someone.
You're the one that helped me find it.
People make mistakes.
Aloy. Is everything all right? It seemed like you and Varl were down in that basement for a while.
Yeah, everything's fine, I guess.
Well, okay. What can I do for you?
How are things going around here?
Hey, you tell me. Varl's new girlfriend tried to kill me earlier.
What did you do?
I made one joke about how they, eat grass a lot. How does anyone fight with nothing but tree leaves in their stomach anyway?
From the looks of it, the Utaru.
Yeah, well, I wasn't expecting her to be that fast.
Just try not to get hurt. I see someone's been playing Strike.
I'm just trying to get some practice in. Helps take my mind off things.
You should try playing Katalo. It's a Tanakh game. Maybe you'll learn something.
Oh, sure, Tanakh. Sure he won't try and kill me if I win?
Pretty sure.
I mean, what bad would happen if we tried to kill him?
Do I smell ale?
I brought some over from Chain Scrape. With everything that's been going on, I thought we could all use a drink. Besides, there is nothing that brings people together like a good brew. That's what my sister always said, anyways. You're more than welcome to have some.
Maybe another time. You still sifting through loads of data?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's lots of words. I thought maybe I could try finding things with more, pictures in it. Not much luck there, but I did find out about these holofilms. Like images put together to tell a story. They were made to look like they were the real thing. The Oseram like shows. I bet they pay a lot of shards for those hollows.
It seems like you're getting a hang of this data thing.
Yeah, it's been helpful. When I could make sense of anything. I did find the old ones enjoyed a good brew like the rest of us. Only they let machines serve the stuff in bars. They even let the damn things cut you off before you saw the underside of a table. And that's half the fun. Now, you won't see me letting a robot serve me a pitcher anytime soon.
Okay.
I should get going.
Back to reading, I guess. Do be careful out there.
Alright.
Hey, got a sec?
Of course.
You feeling okay?
I was just thinking about Beta and all that time spent with the Zeniths. To think someone would make a person just to lock them in a room to use when needed, like some sort of tool. Elizabeth Sobek sacrificed herself for the world, and yet they have no trouble treating Beta like a slave.
Another reason we have to stop them. How's training?
Discovering something new about our past every day. When we first met, you asked me if I ever wondered what this world looked like when the old ones lived here. I thought it was strange at the time, but a lot has changed since I left the Embrace. Now I'm just trying to make sense of everything I thought I knew, and versus everything I know now.
The change is hard, but it gets easier over time. It's hard to believe we're dealing with the original Zeniths. The same ones that left for Sirius 1,000 years ago.
To live on for so long, it doesn't seem natural.
Because it's not.
That weapon we found where Beta was hiding, any chance we can use that against them?
Sylens made sure that wasn't an option.
Why would he build something to hurt Far Zenith, yet allow them to capture you?
With Sylens, there's always an angle. We just don't know what it is yet. What do you make of this Tilda the Beta was talking about?
Well, the way she described it, I can't shake off the feeling that Tilda wanted something from Beta. Maybe because she's Elizabeth Sobek's clone? But whatever she wanted, I don't think she got it. If we knew what it was, maybe we could use it to our advantage somehow.
I don't know. I don't think Tilda and Elizabeth were on the best of terms.
Oh well. At least we can take some comfort in knowing the Zeniths don't trust each other.
Maybe. You brought up Rost before. I do think about him. You know, he was all I had. And he brought me up the best he could. Not only that, when Hades discovered who I was and sent the Eclipse after me, he sacrificed himself so I could survive. But that seems like ages ago. So much has happened since. What I'm doing now, I don't think he could even begin to understand it. The Sacred Lands were all he really knew. So I can't let myself dwell on him. Not with everything I have to do.
I understand. Sometimes, when I think about my sister, about what she would have become if she had survived the Proving, it hurts. And I just need to bury it for a while. But only for a while, Aloy. You can't ignore it forever. Memories always come back. The ones that matter, anyway.
I know. But for now, the mission has to come first.
Fair enough.
I'm not sure if she gives Rost enough credit, because he was a... what was it called? A Death Seeker or something? So, he did go out of Nora lands to chase down the attackers.
I should get back out there.
We'll be here if you need us.
Okay. Talk to Zoe.
Aloy.
Hey, how's everything going?
I am well, but Varl told me Beta's having a hard time adjusting to life here with us. I wish there was something I could do to help.
I'm not sure any of us can.
A tree won't bear fruit in a day. We'll do our best to make her feel welcome.
Are you guys training with Erend as well?
If you count trying to stick a spear in his gut as training, then yes.
I've been told. Please tell me you weren't being serious, though.
Of course not.
Good.
I was going for a couple of broken bones. He called the Utaru leaf grazers. Laughed at the idea of us simple farmers being formidable fighters. Before I knew it, he and I were battling it out in the common room. The man is slow, but he can throw a hammer around. Don't look so worried. We're evenly matched. For now. Next time he's going down like a load of boar dump.
Just try not to kill each other.
Injuring his pride should be good enough.
She's badass.
Is there anything I can help with around here?
Oh, no. We're doing fine.
Are you okay?
You and Varl have been friends for a while.
I like to think so.
I was wondering, what do you know about his mother?
Oh.
That bad, huh?
Why do you want to know?
He's spoken of his sister, Vala, but I noticed he avoids talking about his mother.
She's the war chief of the Nora. Best warrior the tribe's ever known. Tougher than a Thunderjaw, but she could be pretty harsh at times.
I see. That must have been hard on him. Thank you for telling me. I feel silly not being able to ask Varl directly.
I wouldn't worry about it. He's probably afraid Sona will scare you off someday.
I'd like to see her try.
Oh, yeah.
Found anything else combing through that data?
Varl and I have been looking into the animals of the old world. Apparently there used to be thousands more species roaming around than there are today. Can you imagine that? I'd give anything to see them, even as holograms. Though I know that without Artemis or Apollo, that may prove difficult. At least I can find comfort in knowing Gaia used many of them as inspiration for her machines. Her memory honors them.
What are you going to learn next?
I'm not sure. I asked Gaia for suggestions, and she brought up data you found on something called a museum? From what I gather, the old ones would store knowledge in them for all to see and learn from, like you've done here for us. Maybe one day more people will be able to use this place to learn the way we have.
That sounds crowded, but nice.
Aloy doesn't want to run a school.
The Zeniths did a number on Beta. But she seems to trust Varl.
I still can't believe she told him the Zeniths are immortals. Old ones who cut themselves off from the cycle of life and decay. I've never heard of anything so selfish. To deny our dying bodies to the earth. To doom the life that would bloom in their place. It's despicable.
Oh god, that's great. Like, doing that, having the immortal enemies, the original Zenith here. And I didn't even make the connection to the Utaru with their, You know, like, well, you return to the Earth and then you bring new life there. Thing. That, you know, before we've heard a couple of times as like an excuse, like from that one murderer and things like that. So of course that would totally get her goat.
I should get going.
Good luck on your search.
Okay, now let's try... Where is, Kotalo, or whatever his name was?
The other one's like the band.
Well, they didn't have 2 left feet like I do.
I could teach you.
Don't tempt me. By the forge, find an inn and leave me alone.
Get a room.
Beta's been difficult to figure out. She's just so closed off. I get that the Zeniths were cruel to her, that the one called Tilda abandoned her, but I can't get her out of her shell. I don't know. Maybe nothing can. I know Varl meant well, bringing up Rost. I guess it's hard to talk about. With everything going on, it feels easier to set those memories aside. At least for now.
Alright. Just do a quick restock. Interesting
Anybody
music.
see one of my machine strike pieces around?
Why don't you check the cache? Maybe you left it there when you dropped off all that ale.
Oh. Hope it didn't get stained.
Oh, yeah, he has something to say now. We're just a little too early.
Mind if we have a word?
Of course not.
Does it still hurt?
It comes and goes. I try not to think about it, but its absence is always present for me. It's difficult to explain.
I can't claim to understand. Only empathize.
Then you have my thanks.
Have you spoken with Erend at all?
I've had little chance to. I did see him bring some ale from out east.
That stuff's as bitter as self-brush.
You get used to it, eventually. In fact, I wouldn't mind a drink myself.
I'm sure Erend wouldn't mind sharing. Must be strange, seeing everything through a focus now.
I can see machines like never before. Their strengths and weaknesses simply reveal themselves to me. To think that such a tiny object might be the most powerful weapon I've ever possessed.
What do you think of this place? It must take some getting used to.
It's an efficient center of operations, and an acceptable training facility. Though it could use some more color.
Duly noted. I should get going.
If I can help in some way, say the word.
I will. Thank you.
All right. You know what? I think...
Did you know there used to be a rainforest so big the old ones called it the lungs of the planet?
That sounds lovely.
Yeah. They burned it to the ground at some point.
Oh.
but they helped bring part of it back in Sobek's time.
That's good to hear. I wonder if it grew back after Zero Dawn. Wherever it is.
I'd like to think so.
Okay, where was the downstairs? Here. No, that's upstairs.
This can help.
Here, let's have one last peek at Beta. Oh. It's open. But she doesn't seem to have anything to say. Oh, what's that over there? About Hephaestus. Aloy and Gaia want me to help figure out how to capture Hephaestus. I'd put chances of success at about nil point zip, but I might as well give it a think, because one, without Hef's ability to make machines, the Zeniths will have us at their mercy, and two, what else am I gonna do? As always, the first step is to outline the problem. Like the other subordinate functions, Hef achieved quasi-sentience when Gaia received the signal from Sirius. And when Gaia blew herself up to stop Hades, Hef fled looking for a new home. But unlike the other sub-functions, which seem to have taken refuge in whatever physical processes they could find, Hef hid in the globe-spanning network that connects all the cauldrons in the world. Maybe because no single processor was large enough to contain it? Or because it sought out the code environment it was most familiar with? Regardless, becoming a ghost in the network enabled it to pursue its twisted new mission: infiltrate cauldron production facilities, build combat units, and deploy them against humans, all in an effort to protect terraforming machines from tribal hunters. Escalation ensues. As hunters become adept at neutralizing its killing machines, Hef makes more, bigger, better armed, deadlier. But this is a digression. For our purposes, the main point is that Hef isn't in one place, so Aloy can't simply find it and use the master override to contain it in the Gaia kernel like either Demeter or Poseidon. It can flee to any cauldron at any time. Ergo, we've got to trap it somehow, probably in a cauldron core, and cut off its access to the network. But how? As of this writing, I have literally no clue. Okay, that makes sense. We know that there's the one broken cauldron that we went into earlier, where we couldn't do anything except find the way back out. You know, the one where the two clan leaders battled for dominance. So I'm thinking that that's probably disconnected from the network, and if we can get Hephaestus in there, that will probably be what we'll do later. We'll get Hephaestus in there somehow, and then we can extract it. To make matters worse, the data that Gaia provided seems to indicate that Hef is changing. The exact methodology isn't clear to me, but its codebase has expanded. That's bad news. For one thing, it could mean that its heuristic density is increasing, which would make it harder for Gaia to absorb. But even worse, it implies that Hef has the ability to rewrite itself, or at least parts of itself, which is terrifying. What if it rewrote its access protocols? That would mean... I don't even want to think about it.
Hey, I just, wanted to see how you're doing.
I'm fine.
And look, about earlier.
Forget it. Was there anything else?
So have you been able to make use of your expertise?
I guess so. Gaia transferred a lot of data on Hephaestus to study.
And? Any insights?
It looks like it's been modifying its code, increasing in size and complexity over the years. There's a lot to analyze still.
Okay, well, keep at it, I guess. What else can you tell me about Tilda?
She liked to talk about her paintings.
What about herself? Did she ever talk about her life on Earth, how she joined the Zeniths, something like that?
She never said much about herself, and she hated it when I asked too many questions.
Okay, that's the same conversation we already had. Okay.
So have you been upstairs at all?
Not really. Varl sometimes comes down here to talk. He keeps asking if I'm okay. I thought he only wanted to know about my productivity, but it's almost like he actually wants to talk to me.
Yeah, I think he does. Have you talked with anyone else in the base?
I speak with Gaia. She asked me how I'm feeling and my opinion on various topics. I didn't expect that from an AI.
That's all thanks to Elizabeth. She believed Gaia had to care, not just follow her programming orders.
I know. Independent emotional processing enabled the previous version of Gaia to create you, after all.
Yeah. I guess so. I'll be going.
Okay. Bye.
It's interesting how different their voices are. Like, Aloy is in her lower register, you know, kind of that, like, I'll be going. And Beta is kind of like, okay. You know, so, like, they express how, I guess, how secure and self-assured Aloy is versus the insecurity and, you know, like, social awkwardness of Beta. Which, you know, Aloy doesn't like crowds. You know, she likes to be alone, so kind of fascinating to have that. Alright, so I think we've done everything we can here to wrap this up. Can you tell that I don't really want to stop and go off to work right now? Okay, I think the one thing we should do is just pick a quest for next week. So let's see, we're level 32, so Seeds of the Past is level 24. We could just continue on that. But we have the Delving with the security console. That's just level 22, and we wanted to do that a couple of times. So, that's probably, yeah, and the others are all... Yeah. So yeah, that's... Why did she say her paintings, but then Old Dutch painting? So the woman is not a painter, but collected Old Dutch paintings in digital frames? I think so, yeah. It's just ownership, her, not originator, her, is what I'm guessing. I hope that, you know, it just turns out that, you know, like, in like another kind of story, this would have been, you know, this would be the hint, the paintings that, you know, for a code And so maybe Beta just didn't understand the code because she's kind of, too emotionally stunted. And so maybe, because of being locked in so long. And so I could totally see it where Beta comes in at some moment and said, "Oh God, I realized Tilda was trying to get me a message or something." And by the way, that it's Dutch painters. Of course, the company that made the Sony studio that made Horizon Zero Dawn, they are in the Netherlands. So it totally makes sense that would be, it's a nice little nod to pick that. Like, oh yeah, from the heyday of the of Dutch art, they picked paintings. And yeah, Tony changed his name recently. Alright, so I guess that's it for us today here. But we'll likely be doing this side quest on Monday, and then, depending on how long that takes us, we will be going on on the main quest. But yeah, I'm wondering if there's like a code in the in the paintings, or if there was something that Elizabeth, like, if she was looking for quote unquote Elizabeth's soul inside Beta. And of course, you heard that Beta said, whatever I did wrong to make her cut off communication with me. And of course, maybe she didn't do anything wrong. Maybe Tilda had some, something she wanted to tell Beta, but couldn't get through before the others kind of started suspecting there was something going on. Maybe that communications channel wasn't as secure as she thought. But I guess we'll find out through the progress of the game what the deal with Tilda is. I hope that she, even if she maybe is one of the Zeniths in general, I kind of hope that she kind of has a change of heart at the end or something. That would be kind of nice. And also kind of, like, probably help Beta get over it. Maybe the paintings have some meaning and Tilda gave up because Beta didn't remember. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that might be the direction. That maybe, maybe even have to track down the paintings at some point, or find a museum with the paintings in them, and then maybe Beta looks at them and goes like, wait, those aren't, I don't know, like, those aren't like the ones I got shown, and then goes like, this is different, this is different, this is different, and then, oh, something, I don't know. They could do the whole National Treasure thing, Da Vinci Code or whatever, that would be a bit overkill, but, like, there could be something, or it could just be, kind of showing that there's something of Elizabeth in Beta as well, as there is, in Aloy, kind of. Aloy mostly got, Elizabeth's strength. or I guess Rost's strength, but you know, like, it's like if you look at what Elizabeth did, she made the hard choices, and that's what Aloy does as well. And of course, both of them are kind of tasked with, well, I guess you'll save the world because we goofed. I know she's evil, but the good kind of evil. Yeah, I guess something like that. No, but I mean, the question is, like, how many of the Zeniths, like, are really on board? And how many are just in there because they're basically, you know, saw it as the only way to get to Earth, to a planet that they can still live on. Interesting idea for a code, yeah. Well, we'll see. Alright, but that's it for today. Thank you all for being here, thanks for chatting, thanks for hinting and whatever. And we'll be seeing each other next week on Monday for more of this beautiful and fun game. And yeah, and if you're going off to work now or whatever, have a great rest of your Friday. Or, you know, otherwise have a great rest of your Friday as well, and have a good weekend. See you. Bye-bye.